This is a breaking news alert from 24-Hour News 8.
Breaking news we've been following all morning. We have new information on that fatal plane crash at the Kalamazoo Battle Creek Airport. We're going to get straight out to 24-Hour News 8's Joe LaFergie, who's live at Kalamazoo Public Safety Headquarters with that story. Joe?
Yeah, Brett, they just wrapped up a news conference just moments ago here at Kalamazoo Public Safety Headquarters. They have released some new information. Now, the pilot has still not been identified. I should say his name has not been released. They are still trying to get a hold of his next of kin. We have discovered that the plane was registered to an owner in Canada. There is some assumption here that the owner of that plane was also the pilot. The only person dying as a result of that crash this morning. They're also confirming a tip we received in the newsroom a short time ago that plane had just had some mechanical work done. Let's get you right out to the scene. There is not much left of the single-engine Beechcraft. A witness tells me he watched the plane struggling to gain altitude as it took off from the airport headed north this morning. He says the engine was popping and smoking. The pilot made it to the airport's north end, banked sharply to the right, and then crashed nose first to the ground. The witness tells me that it appears the pilot was trying to land in a parking lot of a building that used to house Western Michigan University's flight school, and he praised the pilot for his apparent efforts to try to avoid populated areas as he knew that aircraft was in trouble, that plane bursting into flames on impact. Several witnesses tried to get the pilot out, but it was too late. They couldn't fight all the flames and the smoke. And again, investigators say the plane was in Kalamazoo for either maintenance or an inspection.
We actually received information that either the pilot or the owner of the airplane had just picked it up from being repaired or being inspected and was actually taking off from the airport after having that completed.
All that information being used here by Kalamazoo public safety officers as well as the Federal Aviation Administration, other federal agencies coming in to try to investigate, to try to figure out what happened to that plane. Kilgore Road remains closed, but they are telling me it will reopen later this afternoon. They may shut off one lane. They need to keep that plane there for those federal investigators so they can take a look at it as well. And of course, we'll have more throughout the day. Back to you, Brett.
Joe, do I understand this correctly? That plane may not have been housed in Detroit. It may not have been housed at the airport there. It may have come from somewhere else, basically, and gotten inspected?
Yeah, that's the indication that it appears, again, that plane was registered out of Canada. There is an assumption here that the pilot was the owner of that plane, again, his name not being released yet, but that he had flown into Kalamazoo for either that maintenance or an inspection and was flying possibly home this morning when the trouble occurred.
All right. Thank you so much, Joe LaFergie, live with the update on the situation there.